Tonight on Reporting Scotland, this 9-year-old has lost 3 grandparents to coronavirus. Could they have been saved if we'd locked down earlier? Good evening. More than 2,000 coronavirus deaths could have been prevented if Scotland had locked down 2 weeks earlier, according to a new study featured in a BBC investigation. The BBC Disclosure programme also reveals there was an outbreak of the virus in Edinburgh back in February before the first recorded cases in Scotland, but this was not revealed to the public. Our investigations correspondent Mark Daly has this report.
Anna is 9 years old. Within a month, she's lost 3 of her grandparents to coronavirus. Anna's mum, Lynsey, is picking up the pieces.
For a 9-year-old girl who her 3 grandparents are worried, she's not getting any now. I need to look at after school care for her when she used to be able to sit at the dining table, do her homework with her granda. Why does a wee girl need to get punished like that over and over again?
The Chambers family held a birthday party in early March when government advice was to carry on as normal. Days later, 5 of the guests, including Lynsey's sister Wendy, became unwell. Their father, Dougie, was admitted to hospital and tested positive for Covid-19. He died 2 weeks later, aged just 66. 2 more of Anna's grandparents, Mary and Andy Lehman, contracted the virus shortly after the party. They too have now died.
We knew then what we knew now. We wouldn't have had the party. Do you know, it wouldn't have happened. And it's these things that, you know, keep you up at night. Do you know? It's these things that make you think.
Bereaved families and some public health experts are now asking why we didn't lock down sooner.
One of the conclusions is that we were complacent early on. I think mistakes have been made and that has resulted in lives being lost.
So what if we'd locked down 2 weeks earlier? A team of scientists are trying to answer that question.
What would have happened if, rather than having lockdown on about the 23rd of March, we had done it about 2 weeks earlier? And while you see again that there's quite a bit of uncertainty in what the final outcome will be, all those lines are now substantially below what actually happened.
Based on last week's figures, the model predicts the death rate in Scotland would have been reduced from 2,795 to fewer than 600. The BBC can also reveal coronavirus was spreading in Scotland in February before the first confirmed cases. More than 70 Nike employees flew into a conference at the Edinburgh Hilton Carlton. One of them brought the virus. At least 24 more were infected. The public were not told about it. The Scottish Government said those at the conference who were at increased risk were identified and their close contacts were traced to ensure there was no further infection risk. It said its actions during the pandemic have been guided by the most up-to-date scientific advice. For the Chambers family, their pain is still raw.
Look at somebody in your family, the youngest person in your family, imagine having to say to them, 3 people that you love dearly have died and you're never going to see them again. How do you think that would feel?
And Mark joins me now. Mark, when we're through the other side of this, there'll be many, many questions asked about every country's response to this pandemic. But these are some pretty stark numbers we're talking about here.
The numbers are dramatic, and with all epidemiological models like this, these results have to be treated with a degree of caution. But even with that uncertainty, yes, those numbers do seem really stark. Just to put it into context, what this model suggests is that 4 out of 5 deaths in Scotland might have been prevented if we had locked down sooner. Now, what our programme also suggests is that there's a growing body of scientific experts who believe that there was enough information for governments at both UK and Scottish level, enough information coming out of Italy and China to suggest that we could have acted sooner, that we could have done more. There are questions too about how long it took Scotland to set up its own advisory panel to help interpret the scientific advice coming out of those scientific committees which were feeding mainly into the Westminster government. Now, that panel was set up on March 25th. That's 2 days after the lockdown and after many of the big decisions had already been taken. Now, we hear quite a lot at the moment politicians saying, now's not the time to look back, now is not the time to analyse whether mistakes were made. But these are questions that people like the Chambers family and many others want answers to right now. And these are questions which are not going away anytime soon.
OK, Mark, thank you. And you can see more of Mark's investigation in Disclosure Scotland's lockdown on BBC One Scotland at 8:30 tonight.